nervous. Now I'm going to do a little meditation, and I wish I had some music here, but I can't share the music successfully, so I'm not going to do that. We're just going to do some breaths. We're going to breathe in this. So here I've got the body with the different chakras. This is the sacral chakra that we're going to focus on, which is the like center of your emotions, feelings, and sexual energy. And it's orange if you want to think of a color. We're just going to think about that, and then I'm going to read out these kind of mantras, I guess you can call them, while we're breathing in. And I'm just going to hope that it sort of, puts you in a nice frame of mind. Okay, so we're just going to breathe in. I'm going to turn my camera off while I read them out. Breathe in this color orange, or red if you choose to, but just really think about that sacral chakra that's just below your belly button. You can breathe into the root chakra if you like, that's always nice. Then we're focusing on this, our center of creativity. This is where our sexual energy comes from. I'm going to read them out now. Keep on breathing deeply all the way down to that sacral chakra. I make space in my life for play. It's a priority and not an option. I embrace life with vigor and passion. I deeply respect and honor my body. It is a work of art. I am a sensual and passionate being. I embrace intimacy over others. Sorry. I embrace intimacy with others. I honor my desires. I honor my sensuality. My sexual energy is a blessing. I listen to my sacred body and I give it what it needs. I am comfortable moving my body in ways that feel good to me. I am worthy of being desired. All that I am is in perfect harmony. I am divine sexual being. Limitless joy is my birthright. And we'll just take 3 more deep breaths. Okay, and now we have this wonderful slide that's fucked up. That's brilliant. Seesaw picture is a little broken link there. There was a picture of a seesaw, or in American you call it teeter-totter or teeter-totter or something. You know, when you have this, so wood and it can go extremes. We have, this is a bit of the science now we're talking about. We have the pleasure at one end, and we have pain or like suffering the other end. In the middle is this balance point, and this is comfort. Another thing that I was thinking about today is this whole thing of like, something I was listening to was talking about this safety point being, it can get mundane, it can get monotonous, and it reminded me of my friend that had some antidepressants, and he said he didn't like his life on it because he had no ups and downs. It was all just in the middle. Now that might have been that he was on the wrong medicine, but that's what I was thinking of. Like, without this like extreme feeling of pleasure, which is, I think, quite a temporary thing, up for discussion. I feel like the temporariness of it almost makes it better, because it's not something that's going to last forever. It's this feeling that rushes over you, like, okay, the idea of an orgasm just came back to me again. Like, it rushes over you and then is gone, and then you're thinking about the next time you will have this feeling or any kind of pleasure. And this also is to do with the science, where the science, I mean, it's boring, but it was talking about how when someone touches the skin, so they talked about it being like, it's a sensory experience, but it's just touch. And when someone touches your skin in a gentle way, or a way you like, then that touch goes to your brain, and your brain decides if it's pleasure or it's pain. And then it releases a hormone that gives you this feeling of whatever, panic or run away or stay and enjoy the pleasure. And that was, to me, it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like pleasure is just this sort of science of pain or pleasure, just touch. I feel it more in my entire body. And like Bianca was talking about how she feels like pleasure to her is like this existential kind of floating off into the universe, and not being of this world anymore. And then I looked into the basics of these happy hormones that we have, and it's these ones down here, endorphins, that release that feeling of pleasure. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know if that's the way they would talk about it, but it's this feeling of euphoria that it talks about, and the pleasure being that. So I'll quickly run through the other happy hormones, which are great, and we wouldn't say no to any of these, right? Serotonin is the calming one, and it gives you well-being and happiness. It's a sense of well-being. Social, makes you social, and like, it's to do with like giving you appetite and good sleep and good for your memory. I mean, all good things, that's fine, but that's not the thing that gives you this feeling of pleasure. Dopamine is this thing of, I've got my view of everyone's faces in the way, sorry, gorgeous. But so dopamine is the one that we're all addicted to if we do social media. Not you, Sana, you're the one that's not addicted to this. Full marks. I am totally addicted to this. And this is that feeling like it's the hormone that the brain releases when we want to get to a goal, or I was going to call it a carrot or a treat, but like this, when your brain thinks there's a possibility of this reward, then it releases dopamine, and that gives you the motivation and the like persistence, and what's the rest of these words, concentration, exhilaration. It gives you this momentum to go towards this reward. And then once the reward is got, the dopamine just goes straight back down again. So that is not the pleasure that you feel when you get this reward. Oxytocin, I think anyone that's had a baby knows about oxytocin. So yeah, it's about it basically helped you through childbirth by some pain relief. It gives you anti-stress, sorry, I quickly type that. Self-esteem, trust. It's about bonding. It's how you bond so well with the baby when the baby comes out. It's this oxytocin. And endorphins, that's the one that we need more of if we want more pleasure in our lives, basically. So it's that runner's high. I've never had this runner's high, but I've heard about it. And I think this is what we were talking about in Bianca's session, is this feeling of like otherworldliness, like being euphoric, existential. Like, it's, I think, all about the endorphins. So then I thought, what I'll do is write a little thing about how to shortcut, a couple about how to shortcut to get more pleasure. So it's a deep sensory experience. This is what pleasure is. So we want to, if we shortcut to that, obviously we can have these amazing, like when we're in our flow state, or when we're like, I don't know, what was it, Bianca, you're talking about, like taking ecstasy, whatever like that. You know, you can do those things, but I think the easiest way to do it is through touch. And that's like the scientific, maybe boring, but very pleasurable way of doing it. So that's like, it's, you're telling your brain that you like the touch. So this is, what were we saying? Slowly going into a warm bath, or having a massage, a good one, or like just tickles. Like my daughter loves tickles and massage. It's like, and that's her like feeling this sensory touch pleasure. So giving yourself, like Carmela does, this lovely caressing kind of massage, and what that tells your body, that you're safe and you're yeah, basically pleasuring yourself, and releasing endorphins. So if we're disconnected with ourselves, if we're disconnected with what we feel, what we like, what we touch, when we touch ourselves, then we don't really have a chance of experiencing pleasure in many cases. You know, you have to sort of experiment with what you like before you can, I mean, if you're lucky, so I'm going to say like the massage thing, if you're lucky, you go somewhere and you're like blown away by how they have made you feel, right? I'm not saying that people are like having an orgasm in them. I'm not going to rule that out or shame that. That's fine, whatever. But you know, just pleasure is a lovely thing, and you don't have to sexually pleasure yourself. You can just have a lovely time. So we have to be in the moment, and we have to know what touch we like. And then I'm like, okay, how can we maximize on this? How can we go into the moment, but with the thing in mind that we want to sort of elongate it. I'm just getting a flashback of me talking about elongating something in the call yesterday. Elongate it, Anjali and Bianca. So we want to sort of make this pleasure last longer. We want to, I mean, I know I'm totally getting the tantric thing wrong, Leanne, but we want to make this feeling last, right? And we can do that with mindfulness. And we can choose to like honor and like revel in it, not just like let it pass. Oh, what was that? Just really focus on how it feels. And maybe this involves me remembering to deep breathe while having an orgasm. I don't know, but anything like that. And also, if you guys try anything and it works, you have to share it with everyone else. That's the rules. So yeah, that is actually, I'm going to stop